So today is a milestone day. It has been 1 year since I had my last chemo. My journey began on actually began on May 4th when I had been in the hospital for a cardiac arrhythmia and a CT scan was performed and they found an enlarged lymph node um, which resulted in me having a biopsy and finding out that I had breast cancer, despite the fact that in February of 2023, I had had an MRI done and it was quote unquote clear. Um, so June 20th of 2023, I got the confirmation that I had breast cancer. Late July, I started my first round of chemo. My cancer was triple positive, which is a pretty aggressive cancer. Um, and as I said, it was in my lymph node. But I didn't get a stage because they actually didn't find a primary tumor in my breast. So I had occult breast cancer. Anyway, July of 2023, I started my chemotherapy. I had 6 rounds of what's called TCHP. Those are the abbreviations for the 4 different drugs that I got. And I had uh, every 3 weeks I got a dose for 6 cycles. And so I was finished sometime in November. In December, I was supposed to have my surgery, but I ended up getting sick with COVID, so I didn't have my surgery until January. And I had my right breast removed. I was originally planning on doing some reconstruction, so I had a tissue expander placed, and then time for healing was allowed, and I think towards the end of February of 2024, I started radiation. I had 5 weeks of radiation every single day, except for Saturday and Sunday. And I tolerated it pretty well until the very end, and I got pretty badly burned. And yeah, I wanted to quit, but I didn't. Um, then after, and while I was on radiation, my pathology came back, and it was found that I still had residual disease in my lymph nodes that was removed. So I had to have some more chemo. So I had 14 doses of Kadcyla, which, except for a couple of breaks, it was same cycle. I had a dose. 3 weeks later, I had another dose. So every 3 weeks, I had a dose of Kadcyla for 14 doses. Um, in the meantime, my tissue expander was being filled, and I ended up hating it. And I had also in February, I had a mammogram of my existing breast that was still remaining, and I needed to have biopsies done of that. So I was like, nope, I'm done. Just take my breast. And I decided that I was going to go flat. And so that surgery didn't happen until September. So there was a break of the Kadcyla in order for me to have my surgery. And when I had a little bit of difficulties with healing in that I had a hematoma that kept filling up. And so then I had to have another surgery. So that made my break a little bit longer because I had to recover from that surgery. And I finally finished on this day 1 year ago. I rang the bell for the last time. I rang the bell after my first round of chemo set of chemo, and I rang the bell after radiation. So I chose to ring the bell at the end of each milestone. Um, and I will say, whoops, I will say that I'm very happy that I made the decision to go flat. I've shown you guys before. Uh, Here I am with clothes on. I do not miss having breasts. I have a much better self-esteem than I did before. As a 62-year-old woman with no breasts, I'm rocking it. Yeah, so celebrate my 1 year of being completed with chemo. Woohoo!